What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we're here for AEW Double or Nothing review, coming to you for May 23rd, 2020. This was AEW's first pay-per-view in this empty arena, crowdless era. It's also the first pay-per-view we've had since Revolution. AEW has had a lot of time to build, get things in to go. This is also the finals of the TNT Championship Tournament. Lance Archer versus Cody for the AEW TNT Championship. John Moxley versus Brodie Lee. Chris Statlander versus Penelope Ford, with Britt Baker suffering a knee injury last past Wednesday. Casino Ladder match with a mystery opponent, a mystery man in that match, and so much more. This was a fantastic show. Now, for me, crowds make it a whole hell of a difference. You know, the AEW, except for like one or two shows after the first week, they've had crowds in their shows, and of course they had the talent in the crowd. In this episode, we also saw, if you panned out, when they panned out to the crowd areas every once in a while, you would see a small group of people in the crowd. So they had a little bit of ambience. It did make the show a lot better than what you would have seen in WWE or Impact Wrestling, who was also running shows as well. This was great. Would it have been better with a fucking full crowd? Yes, by far. But the best one, we had ourselves one hell of a show, and it was great to see. Now, buy-in had the Best Friends versus Private Party, the winner becoming the #1 contenders to the AEW World Tag Team Champions, currently held by Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega. Of course, Hangman Adam Page has been MIA because of this whole entire quarantine thing. He hasn't been seen. Omega's been around, but they are both here tonight, taking on the Stadium Stampede against the Inner Circle. Now, they shake hands. These two teams do the bell rings. Isaiah Cassidy and Chucky T start the match. These teams going back and forth. Slice spread to so we get a little bit close. We get a little bit further in the match. Isaiah Cassidy has Trent hooked up. Chuck Taylor has Quinn hooked up, and they both do a leaping slice spread type maneuver at the same time. So yeah. We had a silly string landing that got absolutely botched. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was some wetness in the mat, but you had the team, you had the Private Party go for the silly string, and it was Trent. Isaiah Cassidy was trying to hit with, and you could just tell as soon as Isaiah Cassidy got on top of Trent to do the twisting around for the DDT, he slipped or something went on, and they both landed horribly wrong. Now, it was funny because one of the biggest running jokes is the fact that Trent wears a headband and it goes nowhere. But in this match, it flew off, and Taz and Excalibur, who were on this call, had a joke about, oh, well, JR must be having a conniption in the back, because that's one of JR's things. Best Friends with an avalanche suplex for a 2 count, assisted stunner blocked into a side suplex to Cassidy. Quinn eats 1-2. Shooting star press to the back of Trent while Cassidy holds him by his knees. I don't know if Isaiah Cassidy was trying to have his knees be out of commission, but this dude just continued to fuck his knees up after that first silly string. There was a sling blade not too long after that set. I don't know how the fuck you can pull this off, but he hit a sling blade on, I believe it was Trent, and he hit the sling blade, and somehow his legs got under the man he hit the sling blade on. I'm like, how do you fucking do that? How do you go with a sling blade and land your legs under the guy you're hitting the sling blade on? Awesome moment in the match where Private Party hits the G9, which of course is the fireman's carry turn Samoan drop cutter combination, also known as the finisher for Crime Time. In my opinion, if they got JTG's permission, I would make that their second finisher behind the Gin and Juice, because you don't want to always have the Gin and Juice as your only tag team finisher, because teams are going to be able to go, well, we know when the Gin and Juice is happening. If you go and get yourself another tag team finisher, you're going to be able to mix it up a little bit. So it didn't win the match for him. I thought it was a hell of a tribute, and it was great to see. Good shit. Strong Zero on to Isaiah Cassidy for the win, and the Best Friends are your winners. Then we go on, this was a pretty good match here. Like Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, they have got a long way to go. They are going to get there one day. They're going to have their time in the sun. But the best friends have been here. They've been on most of these shows that have been pre-taped or whatever else. Of course, I know Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, they've been stuck in New York for about 2 months. They just now made themselves come. They just now come back recently. Had a couple matches, but you could tell in this match it was a little sloppy. A couple spots seemed to be missed here and there or screwed up, as I said earlier. And they definitely could tell that the Private Party, this is their first serious long match in a good while. So you definitely could tell that they were out of it. So the opening of the show was they unlike WWE, who wants to treat everything as if nothing's going on. They thank the first responders and everything. They did pay tribute to Hana Kamari, I can't say her name right, the Japanese female wrestler who died yesterday. I never heard of her. I've never seen any of her matches, but a lot of people in the back are connected and knew who she was. Have probably been affiliated with her. Has probably had matches with her. I know B. Priestley had a lot of comments to say about it on Twitter. It's just senseless. Having bullying, which apparently she was cyberbullied into committing suicide because of something that happened on a scripted reality TV show. Like, for fuck's sake, people, if you have the energy to sit there and bully somebody into feeling worse, feeling so low that they don't feel like life is worth living anymore, just to make yourself feel better, you need to get your priorities straight. And no, to anybody who is going after this person and trying to get them and trying to bully them, you're not helping the situation. They should be held accountable. They will be held accountable whether it's in this life or another. But you going after them because of what they did to her, just because you think you're doing the right thing, is not the way to go. Also, they paid tribute to Shad Gaspard, so that was awesome there. I'll talk more about Shad Gaspard tomorrow on Unscripted, my thoughts on him, because I have a lot more knowledge of Shad Gaspard. I saw his entire 2 runs in WWE. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We started off with a ladder match. The Casino Battle Royale ladder match, which I missed the first few minutes of this after this tribute because my internet was going funky or something. I don't know what was going on. I came back in when Darby Allin dove from a ladder with his skateboard and misses onto Frankie Kazarian, who was on another ladder, which, by the way, the ladders in this match were red. We're used to seeing the black and gold ladders that they use everywhere else, but they had everything being red in this match. He had him set up on a huge ladder, on a ladder. He came up to a bigger ladder, went to do a dive with the skateboard, landed, and his knees were fucked from there. Orange Cassidy was out. He didn't want to climb a ladder. He did at the beginning of the match. He's sitting there in the middle of the ring when everyone else is down, just looking up, just putting his arms up, grabs the ladder, drags it over, stands on top of it, and get to it. Colt Cabana comes out. He has some fun in this match. Joey Janela, who replaces the injured Phoenix, who we will probably not see for a couple of weeks due to his miscalculation on the dive this past Wednesday. Luchasaurus was out at number 8, which, again, I missed the majority of the first part of this match. Jimmy Havoc, I know, was out there, even though he wasn't a part of the match. He came out with a white suit, splattered in blood. I'm not surprised with Jimmy Havoc. Luchasaurus was out, and then, of course, the Mystery Man. Who was the Mystery Man? Who would AEW sign to a big money to a contract to come in? There were a couple options. People were saying Chris Hero, Drew Gulak. Nobody that I saw until yesterday mentioned the man who it was, but Brian Cage. Brian Cage makes his way out, but not by himself. He is led to the ring by the human suplex machine, Taz. Taz looks to be managing Brian Cage. I don't know how well of a talker Brian Cage is, but now he has a fantastic mouthpiece on him. So he comes in, everybody teams up and is beating the hell out of this guy. You're thinking that they're all beating on his back except for Luchasaurus and Darby Allin, who are out of the match right now. Everyone else is beating on him. You figure, oh, he's gonna power up and everything, but no. They beat him up. He's down. They get him out to the outside. They start throwing ladders on top of him. They throw a guardrail on top of him. And then they get a big poker chip. Because remember the big poker chips from last year? I thought it was just a big stack to look like... I thought it was just a big tower thing made to look like poker chips. But no, this was a bunch of poker chips last year. They're there somewhere. And they grab one. And they stack it on top of Brian Cage. And you should be thinking, yeah, that's not the last we're going to see of Brian Cage. Joey Janela was the dumbass to wake the beast up because he grabs Orange Cassidy about 5 or so minutes later, picks him up, puts him in a fireman's carry, hits a running Death Valley driver onto the pile where Brian Cage is, and I'm like, you dumbass. Luchasaurus goes as a house of fire, takes everybody out. It was a funny thing because he goes to chokeslam Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy stops that. Orange Cassidy grabs him by the throat, looks like he's going to chokeslam him, but of course that isn't going to happen. Marco Stunt, who is in the crowd, comes in and he gets an assist to chokeslam Orange Cassidy. Then he does a couple things and he kicks Scorpio Sky, who was trying to get a ladder set up in the corner. And him and Luchasaurus do a few things, and then everyone else is down. Luchasaurus looks like he's going to go up and win this thing, and then all of a sudden, Brian Cage pounds up. He doesn't just like bounce up. He doesn't just like get up slow. He just powers up. Luchasaurus stops what he's doing, smooths the ladder out of the way. These guys go at it. Brian Cage gets the better of Luchasaurus, and then Darby Allin comes back in. Darby Allin goes after Brian Cage. He tries to do a few things, and then Brian Cage takes him down, sets a small ladder up on top of the turnbuckle, goes to put Darby Allin on. He slips off for a second, so they have to reset it up. Then he gets underneath of it, lifts it up like he's like lifting up some weights, like a barbell with weights on it, and just tosses Darby Allin in this ladder over the top of the rope. Climbs up, gets the poker chip, and Brian Cage is your winner. Brian Cage, on his first night, looks like a bigger star than anybody who has come up from NXT in the last 5 years. Let's see. Let me think of it again. Last 5 years. Last 5 years. He has looked like a bigger star than anybody there. He's looked like almost a bigger star than anybody who's debuted in NXT. This was the way to make a fucking star. Would it have been great to see a crowd when Brian Cage comes out? Fuck yes. You know what kind of pop that would have got if you would have had this entire Daily's Place or the MGM Grand completely covered in completely filled up with fans as the name Brian Cage comes up on the screen. The place would have blew the roof off of the MGM Grand. This was awesome. Taz as his mouthpiece is going to be great for Brian Cage. I again don't know how well of a talker he is, but he is now in AEW, and Brian Cage is coming for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Will it be the real World Champion Jon Moxley or the self-proclaimed AEW World Champion Mr. Brodie Lee? Then we go to MJF, who's better than us, and you know it, versus Jungle Boy. This, right here, this is the future of this company. This match just overall showed you that AEW has a future plan for this company, and these guys are this company is in good hands for the future. MJF might not be there to where they want to, all the way there. He might not be in the #1 spot yet. Jungle Boy might be a little bit behind him, but after this match was over, both of them put on one hell of a performance. Now, They lock up. And then they're doing shots. They're doing the same spots back and forth to each other. Anything you can do, I can do better. A big dick measuring contest. Then they lock up. They're doing the flipping around and everything. They have each other locked up still. They're on their backs. They're getting pinned, moving left, moving right, putting their heads up. And then when they have their heads, then they handstand with their legs locked. MJF slaps Jungle Boy. I thought they were gonna slap. They were gonna slap back and forth, and then Jungle Boy was gonna light him up a couple times. But it's like one slap from MJF, and then Jungle Boy just back and forth, just slapping the taste out of this guy. Their legs unlock. He starts pounding the fuck out of MJF. MJF takes fakes an injury out of a move. He just falls to the mat, is off to the side. He's like, damn it. He's like, playing it up so much. They even get Dr. Sampson to come in. The referee pulls Jungle Boy away, who's trying to check on him. MJF gets immediately and just takes him into the corner, faking the injury, dancing around as if, oh, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. Poison Rana gets blocked. Jungle Boy gets a roll through for a 2 count. Big arm whip in the corner by MJF, and then he just does a nice lazy pin for a 1. He's like, I know this isn't going to be there, but I'm going to make you waste some energy. So 1, kick out. Jungle Boy fights back. They are fighting back and forth. On the outside, MJF talks trash, and Jungle Boy with 2 tope suicidas, and then a tope con hilo to the outside. Swinging DDT for a 2 count. Jungle Boy is hurt. His arm is injured. It's been injured for a good bit of this match, and of course, as we all know, MJF has the Salt of the Earth, which is the Fujiwara armbar. So he was working on the arm from the minute it started getting hurt. Trading chops. Like MJF would hit when one that doesn't seem like it hurts that much, and then of course, and then Jungle Boy would light him up. They went back and forth a good bit for this. And then MJF went, you know what? I'm going to slap you in the arm. Good mood there. MJF gets hit with the Canadian Destroyer, and I didn't like this part. This is the one part of this match I wasn't really happy about. The Canadian Destroyer, when P.D. Williams does it, or when other ones do it, they're down. Even if it's a kick out, they're down. MJF gets hit with this Canadian Destroyer. He pops up and just hits him with a kick in the face. Didn't like that at all. Didn't like the fact that you didn't sell what used to be a highly devastating move. Jungle Boy gets a crossface on MJF, but he can't hold it in because of the injured arm. Now MJF is biting the hand of Jungle Boy. He rolls up Jungle Boy for a 2 count. Poison Rana, MJF to the apron to MJF on the apron. Like even JO is like, this guy's out. Shivani's like, oh my god, he broke his neck. He broke the man's neck. Yes, he looks like he's out. Jungle Boy actually goes over like a dog and uses his head to flip him over. Pulls him up, gets him back in the ring. He goes up top, but MJF grabs the ref, who is grabs the ref's foot or the pant leg, and the ref grabs the rope, trying to steady herself, and Jungle Boy just gets crushed on the top rope. Now, MJF gets up there, they're fighting, and we get a sit-out powerbomb. They called it a Liger bomb out of the corner for a 2. They said, well, if he would have got his legs over MJF's arms, that would have been a 3 count, but he didn't. Jungle Boy tries for a deadlift, but he can't do anything. MJF can't. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, he's trying to deadlift him, but he can't. And then MJF tries to do a suplex, I think a German, but his back gives out because he's just been going through this match. Has been hard on both of these guys. MJF and Jungle Boy start trading O'Connor rolls. 2-1, like MJF gets one in, or Jungle Boy gets one, and MJF gets another one, and actually bridges his neck, bridges his body, holds the arms. 1, 2, 3. MJF beats Jungle Boy clean as a whistle. As they mentioned, this was 2-0 on Jungle Boy this year, as MJF and Jungle Boy, I believe, had a match in February. So, hell of a match between these two. If you're looking for matches that are great on the show, this was actually one of the better pay-per-views. There wasn't anything that was like, oh, that was not a really good match. Everyone went out there and worked their asses off, and these two right here showed you that the future is here, and the future is in good hands for Jungle Boy and MJF. I was wondering if Jungle Boy is like 10 years from now, if he's still wrestling and he's still doing all this stuff, is he still going to be called Jungle Boy, or is he going to be Jungle Man? I don't know. This one's a highly anticipated one. I think people wanted to see Lance Archer versus Cody for the AEW TNT Championship Finals. Of course, Mike Tyson's out there. He's got the belt. Now, they did like to reiterate, it was a black strap. It has the TNT logo on it. It's all silver. Tony Schiavone did mention the belt is not 100% complete due to the pandemic. But when they can get this belt finalized, it's going to have gold plating. It's going to look way better than it does now. They better do something to it, because honestly, to me, it just doesn't feel like it's up to the standards of the tag team titles, the world title, and the AEW Women's Championship. I think those three titles right there are better than the AEW TNT Championship. But I'll have to wait and see when the championship is actually done. Maybe they add a couple other things to it. Who knows? Of course, Archer comes out and he has some jobber that he kills in the middle of the ring. Mike Tyson's laughing about this completely. Now, immediately, just as the bell rings, Archer gets Cody up and hits the blackout. I'm like, holy shit, are we done with this already? Is it going to be that quick? No, Cody rolls out of the ring. Now, Archer goes for the claw, for his claw that he does, like he did against Dustin in the TNT tournament. But Cody stops that. He gets him into a triangle, but Archer is way too strong for that. Cody goes for the cutter. Archer counters with a shoulder block. That looked like that was not good. That looked like that didn't go the way they planned it. That looked like that one hurt. On the outside, he throws him over the barricade. They go over the barricade, and then he takes Cody and throws him back over to ringside. I don't know what the fuck was going on tonight. Big Swole was in the crowd, and I think I noticed it here first, and it was also later in the show too. Archer goes over to is just looking at Big Swole, talking shit to her. She's like getting riled up. He's riling up. I don't know what the fuck this was all about, but he's over there just talking shit on her. She's getting pissed off and everything. Later on in this match, you see the two people around her having to hold her back because she wanted to jump over the barricade to fuck Lance Archer up or do something to Lance Archer. We get the walk the rope moonsault, which was great. I mean, the first time I saw it, it was awesome. This one, it's like, okay, but it's one of those things that's like, you see a big man do it once, it's crazy. After that, especially if he does it like 2 or 3 matches later, it's just like, eh. Cody reverses a suplex into a suplex drop. Archer rips off the turnbuckle while the referee is distracted. Yes, he doesn't undo the things like all of the heels. He just takes his big beefy hand, grabs it, and just rips with force. Bites him in the ass though, because Cody gets out of the way and he runs chest first into the turnbuckle. Archer lifts Cody off the turnbuckle and tosses him into the outside. And when I mean toss him, he had him up and like he was going to deadlift this guy and just do a couple deadlifts. Just had him up and tossed him. Which, when they did a recap of this stuff for the Stadium Stampede, you got to see it from that camera angle because there was a camera on the ring post for that. Uranagi by Archer for a 2 count. Archer is raining down and clubbing shots. Archer gets a pin, but Cody turns it into a crossface, uses Archer's hair, and the referee's like, no, Cody, you can't do that. Jake the Snake Roberts getting pissed off. DDT by Cody. Jake is getting very, very hot. He's very, very pissed now because Cody's using his move that he made famous. Archer says, you know what? Well, I can play that. You can play at that game, and he hits a spine buster on Cody, and he goes over and stares right down at Arn Anderson, who gets pissed off as well. Now, while he's being distracted, Cody has time to recover. As Archer turns around, Cody bounces up, hits a super cutter. Let me say it right. He hits the super cutter. And major strikes to Archer, then a bionic elbow. Final reckoning, Cody is getting pissed. You can just see the anger and pissed off on his face. He just wants to win this match and be known as the first ever TNT champion. Now, this was another running theme for this show that you saw a lot after this match too. He hits the crossroads, pins Lance Archer for a 2 count, but he doesn't hook the leg. My dad's sitting there's like, hook the leg, Cody. Says it a couple times later in the show too. It's like the leg doesn't get hooked. Then he hits a stinger splash, but Archer hits a choke slam for a 2 count. Then he gets the claw, hits it twice, like as you saw with Dustin back when they had their match for the TNT in the tournament. He hits it like on it like 3 times, 4 times. Here he got it 1, 2, and then he just lets go and falls over. He's exhausted. He walks the ropes again. Ref is distracted by Jake the Snake Roberts. Arn Anderson comes up, clips the leg of Lance Archer. That gives Cody a chance to hit a suplex and hits a reverse suplex. Another referee comes down, tells the referee in the match that, hey, Arn did this. He knocked the guy down. Referee goes over and asks, hey, Tyson, did this happen? Tyson's like, yep. He's just shaking his head, like, get him out of here. Get him out. So the referee doesn't just throw Arn out, he throws both men out. Release suplex by Archer. Jake, he's waving Jake. Come on, Jake, come on. Jake was sent out, but Jake comes back in when he has the bag with the snake. Tyson's like, you know what? I've had enough of this. He gets up, gets in the middle of the stage, pulls his shirt off, which he still looks like he could kick somebody's ass today. Just is staring down Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake's like, you know what? I'm not doing this, and walks away. Blackout gets blocked into 2 crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody is your new and first TNT champion. Now, this ending is going to divide the wrestling base. It's going to, plain and simple. Cody won the match, but he won it by beating Lance Archer. Lance Archer, before this match, was 5-0. A lot of people, including the dumbasses, I don't know who's hiring over at Wrestling Inc., but who's ever running your Twitter channel, your Twitter feed during these shows needs to be fucking fired because they suck at their goddamn job. I'm just saying. But yes, it would probably be a bad idea any other company to have Lance Archer lose the match. I thought Lance Archer should have won because it would have been something to build this guy up. But with the way AEW books the shows, having Lance Archer get beat like this, and in the way everything went down, I can totally see Lance Archer getting more pissed off, more violent. He got screwed over by Mike Tyson. He got screwed over. He should be your AEW TNT champion. He's not because of X, Y, and Z. Maybe, just maybe, Archer and Cody, I don't think are done by a long shot. I don't think at all. Cody's your champion. Archer's going to chase and beat the living hell out of everybody. Now, if this is the problem people seem to have. Everybody seems to be conditioned by WWE's one and done scenarios. Archer got beat, so he's going to be a jobber now. Archer got beat, he's not going to be able to do anything. He's going to be done. He's over with. He's buried. No. Archer got beat, yes. But AEW, if they book this right, can make Lance Archer an even bigger monster. He wants that title. He wants to make Cody's life a living hell. Cody got away with it this time because of other factors. Maybe next time they're in a cage match. Maybe we'll get the second AEW heavy cage match for the TNT title later down the line. Not this month, not next month. Probably in June or July. Probably in July. Or August, maybe. Maybe at one of those special pay-per-view quality type shows that we could get. And maybe they do something like that where Cody gives him the championship match inside a steel cage so nobody can get involved. And we get Archer and him going in there, and Archer beats him decisively, winning the TNT championship, and holds it for a good while Cody licks his wounds and figures out what he's going to do next. Then we move on to Penelope Ford versus Chris Statlander. What's that? It was supposed to be Britt Baker. Well, Britt Baker kind of got injured. So we got a better match. Penelope Ford is actually very underrated, and I think that AEW has not been using her right at all at the beginning of this entire thing. She wasn't even really used until a couple months ago. But Sabian, who was in the match earlier, and Penelope Ford was out there, tried to help him win. And when Orange Cassidy was on top of the ladder in that match, and I forgot about this until now, she got up there, Sabian was down, and she tried to slap Orange Cassidy, grabbed her by both hands, and then just let her fall. So Sabian comes out, he is bandaged up, he has 2 crutches, he's just walking out like he's fucking like dying, or he's on his last on his last legs. Statlander takes Penelope Ford down, and then she decides she's going to do cartwheels around a full circle of cartwheels around the ring. They did get a draping DDT by Ford for 1 count. I'm sure Randy Orton, if you saw that, was all smiles. Big dive to the outside by Statlander, taking Sabian and Ford out. Matrix Stunner by Ford goes for hits the Stunner, but it doesn't affect Statlander as much as she thinks it should. Now she goes for a clothesline. Statlander bounces out, bounces up at the kip up, hits her and then takes her down. Shit, I thought I wrote down what it was. But she takes her down. Ford gets caught into a swinging powerbomb. Big Bang Theory. 1, 2, 3. Chris Statlander is your winner. It was a good short match. It didn't go too short. Didn't go too long. It was exactly what it needed to be. Honestly, in my opinion, I think this match was a better. I don't want to see anyone get injured. Anybody be out for 6 to 9 months or whatever she's going to be. Which apparently Britt Baker will be on Wednesday night to let us know what she's going to be doing and how long she's going to be out. But this was a good match. Statlander is by far she is the de facto number 2 in the division, and after tonight's show, she should be close to, if not going to be, number 1 soon. Then we go to Shawn Spears versus Dustin Rhodes, and of course, they played it up as they talked about it every so often during tonight, and in the buy-in, is Dustin going to be here? We haven't seen him since Lance Archer brutally bloodied him before Double or Nothing. Will we get to see the natural take on this pompous piece of shit known as Shawn Spears? So he comes out in a suit. He doesn't expect Dustin to come in. He thinks he's just going to win by count out. He comes into the ring, has a mic and says, "I know what you're all thinking. Damn, that boy looks good in the suit." And he's calling out Dustin. Dustin's music hits, but Dustin isn't there. Shawn's I couldn't help it. I had to get your hopes up. He wants the referee to ring the bell. Ref rings the bell. That's counting. 1, 2, music hits. He's like, whoa, it's only supposed to be once, guys, you stupid idiots. It's only supposed to be once. Out comes Brandy Rhodes. Shawn's like, what the fuck's going on here? What are you doing here? From behind comes Dustin. Dustin beats the brakes off of Shawn Spears from the get-go. Not much offense in there at all. Then Shawn Spears gets a breather, takes his belt, and he's winding up like he's going to teach this old man a lesson. Goes to attack him. Dustin gets a shot in, rocks him, hits a power slam. He strips him down to his underwear. So Shawn Spears is trying to get away. He's on the ropes. Dustin grabs him by the underwear and pulls him down a little bit. Shawn puts his head up and lets that look of, oh shit, what the fuck? And then he gets it. Then Dustin spanks him a little bit. And then we get down to the ringside area. I'm pretty sure Shawn Spears says something to Big Swole too, because a lot of the heels were riling her up, and I don't know why. Dustin, well, before we get to that, we see they show Shawn Spears, who's walking away from Dustin, pulling his underwear up because it was still down. And then we see Shawn Spears wears underwear with Tully Blanchard's face on it. Yeah, that's creepy. Well, Dustin gets the upper hand again, puts him in the ring. That final reckoning, 1, 2, 3. Dustin Rhodes is your winner. I didn't think it was going to go that way. I figured we would have Dustin come out and Shawn Spears win by hook or by crook and keep the questions of Dustin retiring going. But Dustin looked good. I don't know what they're actually doing with Shawn Spears. He seems to be a guy who just isn't got a proper place in AEW. He's just floating around, doing what he can just to be there. Cody caught him a good hand back on one of the Road to Double or Nothings last year. And honestly, there's not really haven't done anything with him. I mean, the Cody Rhodes match and the build to Cody Rhodes was the biggest thing that Shawn Spears has done in AEW, and it's not even close. I don't know. Nyla Rose versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. Loved Shida's outfit tonight. I believe it's that female character from Final Fantasy VII. I could be wrong. Instead of white and black, it was red and black. Even had the gloves on, so good on her. Now, Nyla Rose came out with the kendo stick, as she had before. Apparently, she had the kendo stick the entire time that Shida was looking for it, which makes no sense because didn't Shida have the kendo stick with her in the first few episodes of this empty arena when Nyla Rose was nowhere to be seen? So how she got the kendo stick is still beyond me. They're fighting over it. Nyla wins and beats on Shida. Shida fights back and gets a knee lift on the outside, taking out Rose. Rose tosses Shida into the barricade. She gets a table, but Shida stops that. Rose drops Shida through a poker table, which was it wasn't a normal poker table, it was just a regular table set up to look like it was a poker table. Now they had a legit poker table on the other side, near the chips, but not here. Rose is just, as they mentioned, bullying Shida. Beast Bomb blocked into a Hurricane Rana, crossbody by Shida on the outside, then a running knee, which sends Nyla over the barricade, which, by the way, Vicky Guerrero was in the crowd. They'd like to mention that one. She was their special guest. Shida, then they're fighting. They get over to where the stack of poker chips are. There's one poker chip that is standing up. Now, that Shida is trying to suplex. Has been trying the entire match to suplex in different parts of the arena and in the ring. Nyla Rose just trying to suplex her, but that doesn't work. Right here, she tries that. Then Nyla Rose is going to do something. She gets out of it, and then she hip tosses her over the poker chips. She walks away. She runs up, hits a big running knee into Nyla Rose, who's standing in front of the big, huge poker chip up top. They fall back. She falls backwards and onto the poker chip. That had to hurt. Shida gets the kendo stick, says, "My kendo stick, bitch," and just whacks her in the shoulder. Brainbuster on the kendo stick, but for a 2 count, running knee for another 2. Running power slam by Nyla Rose. And if Nyla Rose had the strength too, this could have been the end of the match, but it was not. Rose at first, she hangs Shida up on the ropes, goes for the jumping knee and hits it, only gets a 2 count. Nyla grabs the table, sets it in the corner, picks up Shida, who is dead weight pretty much, and power bombs her through the table. Gets only a 2. Death Valley driver by Rose, then grabs the kendo stick and attacks Shida. Goes up top. Shida gets up, takes the kendo stick, and just throws it, barreling into Nyla Rose, stunning her. Gets up, hits a Falcon Arrow for a 2 count. Running knee, another 2 count. Then, this had to fucking hurt because she takes the kendo stick. And if she wants to play fucking baseball, I'm pretty sure she'd be great for the Marlins or the Florida Marlins or the Tampa Bay Rays, because she takes out fucking kendo sticks and whacks Nyla Rose in the head so hard, if her head would fly off, it would go over the top of Daly's place. She hurt her so hard, she falls over as if she just died. She was like, you know what, I'm going to make sure this is over. Props her up, hits the ropes, running knee. 1, 2, 3. We have a new AEW Women's Champion. Thank fucking God. It was great for them to give Nyla Rose a championship, do that whole thing and everything, but you gave the championship to the rightful person. Shida is fantastic. Shida is one of the best women in the top. She is by far the top woman in this company. She should have been the first ever women's champion, in my opinion. But she is the 3rd women's champion. She is going to be the women's champion, hopefully, at least to All Out, which is going to be in September 5th, actually. I'm just hoping this is not going to be one of those things where Nyla gets the title back and they're just going to go after it every once in a while. No. This needs to be Shida's championship for the foreseeable future. She is the woman. She's number one, and in my opinion, Chris Statlander is a close two. Nyla Rose is gonna fall down and do whatever, but Shida is the rightful person over everybody else. Nobody else in this division is even coming close to Shida's worth ethic and production in these matches. She carried that fatal 4-way earlier this year in January. She has shown that she should be the one carrying the women's championship, and thank God she did it. I'm happy for Shida. After the match, you could just see the emotion on her face. She was crying. She looked like she was about ready to cry. Obviously, this meant something more to her than just the women's championship. Paying homage probably to Hana and everything that happened. They mentioned her on this show. It seemed right after this, they even did a graphic for her, talking about how cyberbullying is awful. I mean, you can argue and fight with people back and forth on Twitter and Instagram and all these other things. That is fine. But when you take it too far to the point where you want somebody to end their life to make yourself feel better, is when you have gone too far. And here's the sad part, and I don't blame other people for this. Twitter needs to do better at policing this shit. They need to do better at policing this shit, because you're not going to be able to stop it any other fucking way. Anyway, great fucking match. Happy for Shida. Can't wait to see what happens with this. We have a new AEW Women's Champion. Nothing else I can say. Then we get to our first of what they call two main events. Brodie Lee takes on Jon Moxley. Well, when they announced this match, when they had the ring announcer announcing this match, you see guys in the ring, security guards in the ring, diagonal in the ring to keep Brodie Lee and Jon Moxley apart until this match starts. This was a fucking New Japan Pro Wrestling match at its finest. This was New Japan-esque all the way. These two beat the hell out of each other. This almost felt like Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki. It absolutely did. Jon Moxley versus Lance Archer minus the weapons. This felt like Jon Moxley was back in the fucking Tokyo Dome or Corrigan Hall or wherever else, beating the hell out of his opponent in the fucking section. This was a great fucking match. Now they get to the outside. Moxley takes Brodie Lee and takes him down into the barricade. But Brodie Lee gets back up, hits a suplex on the outside. Brodie Lee drops Moxley on a barricade piece. They're trading shots, elbows by Moxley. He slaps Brodie, Gotch power driver, 2 count. Moxley and Brodie collide, and Moxley eats a drop kick to the stomach. They're on the outside, and I don't know what the fuck was going on here. Jon Moxley looked like he was going to do a running, step off the stairs into a dive, or into a splash onto Brodie Lee, but Brodie Lee came up with his legs and kicked him in the stomach. That looked like that was not fun. Now, Moxley had the step set up like he was going to do something. I'm halfway towards the end of the match by this. This match was just too good to even try and take notes, and we'll get to the Stadium Stampede because that was even harder to do anything. Brodie goes up for I'm pretty sure a power driver or a power bomb, and Moxley stops that and lifts him back over, knocking him over. Suplex by Lee for a 2 count. Brodie suplexes Moxley into a stack of cards, which was they had this big huge thing of cards, and the first one was a king with one half being Brodie Lee, the other half being Jon Moxley, and then they had a couple ones after that. Looked fucking cool. Brodie Lee ripped the card off that had their faces on it, and he steps on Jon Moxley's face, picks him up, and scoop slams him onto the card. Brodie hits a big boot, then hits a sit-up powerbomb for a 2 count back in the ring. Then they're over on the ramp. Brodie Lee looks like he's going to take Jon Moxley out by powerbombing him or power driving him on the stadium stairs. By the way, they have these little mini fiberglass poker chips. Jon Moxley throws one and hits Brodie Lee. Why didn't that become a DQ? Oh, that's right. We've only had one DQ ever in AEW. The referee could clearly be heard as John, guys, in the ring. Get in the ring. Well, Brodie Lee again looks like he's going to go for a power bomb or a power driver. Moxley stops that, hits him with the double underhook DDT. They go through the stage. I'm thinking, wow, this is a good way to end this if you want to keep these guys protected. Moxley keeps the championship. Brodie doesn't get pinned or doesn't get beat. There's a no contest. But no. Referees were over there. You see doctors and officials coming over. Jerry Lynn was out there, they mentioned. Everyone, you see all the doctors and everyone starting putting on gloves. I'm like, somebody has to be busted. Moxley gets up. Well, he ain't busted. He's all clean and everything. Then Brodie Lee comes up, and you could tell he bladed, because if he wasn't for the fact that the way the blood was going, you could tell it was a blade job. But he comes up. He's got blood all over his face. They get back into the ring. Death Rider, Moxley gets a 1 count. Moxley gets a 1 count after hitting the Death Rider. Then he just gets ballistic. He's fucking elbowing the hell out of this guy in the fucking head, beating the fuck out of him. He cannot seem to get this guy beat. Hits him with an elevated DDT. Gets a 2 count. Takes him down, puts him in the rear naked choke. He is choking this guy's life source out of him. Brodie Lee doesn't even, he's not even waving his arms around trying to fight or everything. He's just there. One arm goes down. The second one goes down. Referee calls for the bell. Jon Moxley retains the championship. Brodie Lee did not get pinned, did not tap out. This was the perfect way to keep the title on Jon Moxley and have Brodie Lee get beat. He gets beat, but he does not submit. They emphasized that Brodie Lee did not give up. He just passed out. This is perfect. We've seen WWE do it with Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler. Nikki Cross did not tap out to Shayna Baszler in their match for the NXT Women's Championship. This is how you keep somebody strong. They are not going to tap out, but they don't, their body, they want to keep going, but their body just can't. Good stuff. Then, I don't know why they were buying time. The next match was pre-taped the day before because of the way they did it and the way things that happened in this match. But the Stadium Stampede. The Elite and Matt Hardy versus Chris Jericho's Inner Circle. If you think I could take notes for this thing and just go blow by blow on this, you're out of your fucking mind. This was crazy. First off, Jericho's team comes out as a football team. They're wearing football jerseys, football pads, football tights, and everything. Ortiz and Sammy Guevara come out with helmets on. The Elite come out just as Elite normally would. Everyone but the Hangman. And we're wondering, where the hell's the Hangman? We'll find out a reason why he wasn't there immediately, because they were using pyro, they were using smoke, and all that other stuff. There's a big reason why Hangman didn't come out immediately. The Jackson DeVille and the cheerleaders and a couple band members were out there to make this all a big thing. We got to hear Justin Roberts announce this match, announce everybody coming out. They announced everybody one at a time. These two, the referee doesn't ring the bell, she blows a whistle. It was Aubrey Edwards. She blows a whistle, and it's these two teams just come charging in as if it's a battle. It's like a battle. It's like a big civil war or something. And they go to town on each other. And then Sammy Guevara is not fighting anybody. And next thing you know, he's just shocked or something. We pan away, and it's Hangman Adam Page on a horse. It's not the horse he used at All Out last year. It's a new one, but it's still a horse. And he's chasing Sammy Guevara down. And Sammy's like, I'm not doing this shit again. He is out of here. He runs down towards into the concourse or whatever of Daly's place. And he is gone. Adam Hangman Page, we see him looking for Sammy. And Adam Hangman Page is gone too. He's off into the building looking for Sammy Guevara. Sammy eventually comes back. And Hangman, we find out later, is still looking for Sammy, even though everyone else is brawling everywhere else in the thing. You have them brawling all over the goddamn place. So much stuff going on. There was a lot of action in the ring because they did have a ring at the 50-yard line. Falls count anywhere. Don't know why you needed the ring, but they had a ring. Matt Jackson, on Wednesday, did a dive and busted a rib. So what is this motherfucker going to do in this match? He gets a ladder. Him, Jericho, Guevara, and his brother Nick are all battling by one of the goalposts. He gets a ladder, climbs up to the goalpost, stands on top of it, and I'm pretty sure if you dent this thing, I'm pretty sure it was coming out of his paycheck, but he does a moonsault off of the goalpost. Holy shit. Then you see everybody brawling all over the arena. Matt Hardy, Kenny Omega, and the Santana Ortiz are all fighting over there, over on one spot. You have Matt Hardy, you have Jericho and the Bucks still fighting, and Sammy Guevara still fighting down below. We didn't really see where the fuck Jake Hager went to. He just disappeared as well. So Hangman's still looking for Sammy while everyone else is fighting. Hager. Oh shit, I didn't write it in here, but yeah. Santana Ortiz and Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega are brawling up in the concourse area, up in the area about where the pool's at. So the Pride and Powerful have the slapjacks. They're beating the hell out of those two. Then they realize, oh, there's a pool there. They take Matt Hardy. They throw him in the pool. Santana gets in just fine. And he's like, Ortiz, come in. And Ortiz is like, I can't swim. I can't swim. I can't swim. It's 3 inches of water. It's 3 feet of water, as Tony Schiavone said. He said it with, he's like, it's only 3 inches of, it's only 3 feet of water, man. He gets in there finally. They decide they're going to try and drown Matt Hardy. Obviously, this must be water from the Lake of Reincarnation because Matt Hardy goes down, pops up Matt Hardy from the Attitude Era. They beat him down again. They put him down in. We see a side shot of Matt Hardy in the water, just like doing the whole Hardy Boys pose and everything. And then all of a sudden, the screen comes up and we see the Matt Facts. Holy shit, we got Matt Hardy version 1 who pops up too. And he hits them a couple times. He says something about version 1. They put him back down. We see another side shot of him doing the whole Matt Hardy version 1 thing. And then he stops moving for a bit. It's back to being Damascus. He's back to being Matt Hardy's Damascus. This was fucking awesome right here. They walk away. They say, oh, you might as well go check on him. Well, Matt Hardy gets back up. He is pissed as fuck at these two for what they did to Vanguard 1. I don't know what the hell actually he did to Santana, to Santana, but he goes and beats up on Ortiz. So he did put them both through a table of some kind. And then they have a bell there. I don't know. I've never been to the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium. But there's a bell there. Matt Hardy has Ortiz under the bell, rings that damn thing, and like Ortiz just starts convulsing. He's like, just his ears are ringing. He's convulsing. Matt Hardy puts him in a wheelchair, wraps him around and says, I got a prescription for you. Take 2 of these, smacks him in the face and says, call me in the morning, and leaves Ortiz there. I think him and Santana had a little bit more of a brawl after that. And then we go back to the stadium. No, we don't go back to the stadium. Yeah, we go back to the stadium for a minute, I believe. And it's still Hardy and them, Jericho and them fighting. Then we see Jake Hager looking for Hangman Page, who earlier found a club area and got off his horse, went in, and is drinking, obviously. Jake Hager walks the opposite way, sees the horse, sees this area, goes in there too. And of course, Hangman is drinking. Hager sits down a little bit ways over. Hangman makes him a drink, says, are you here to drink or here to fight? They both take a shot. They come up and they just start brawling, beating the fucking hell out of each other. But Hangman gets slammed onto a pool table, which, by the way, if you break that pool table, that's a lot of fucking money. I always wanted a pool table, but those things are expensive as shit. So they're brawling, they're beating the hell out of each other. Kenny Omega comes out of nowhere. Apparently somebody told him where Hangman and Jake Hager were. So these two are beating the hell out of Jake Hager. One of the coolest spots of the match was, or this fight, I don't even want to call it a match, but this fight was, Hager is sitting on the bar. Kenny Omega is crouched over and says, come on. Hangman actually does the buckshot lariat, springboard style, off the back of Omega, knocking him over. He gets over, takes a beer, gets a thing of alcohol, a thing of milk. He pours the milk. Kenny Omega pours a thing of alcohol. They take a drink. They toast. They go on. Now, Jericho is fighting the Bucks, and Matt Jackson, or Nick Jackson, I think it was Matt Jackson, is hitting Northern Light after Northern Light after Northern Light to Sammy Guevara. He goes from end zone to end zone, and the first time we see it, and then we get to the 50, and as we get a little bit further into the thing, Tony, like, he's seeing you see the Northern Lights continue on, and Tony Schiavone is losing his mind. He's like, he's gonna go to the other hut, and he's gonna go from end zone to end zone. He's like going completely crazy for the fact that he's doing these Northern Light suplexes. The other Buck is fighting Jericho over by the kicker's net. He actually super kicks Jericho into the kicker's net, and LB Edge was there and just like, it's good! Now, they also have an inflatable Jacksonville Jaguar head in this, and Jericho takes him and throws him into the Jaguar mouth. Jackson DeVille, the mascot, comes over, is sizing up Jericho, wants to have a little bit of brawl, and Jericho just does the Judas effect to the mascot, knocking his ass out. Jericho has the bat. He beats the hell out of I think it was Matt. Bucks, I get mixed up every once in a while. Gets the pin. 1, 2. The guy kicks out. Aubrey's like, oh no, it was only a 2. He's like, that's a 3. I challenge the play. He actually had a challenge flag, throws it down. Aubrey's like, we're going to the replay. He follows her in there. They're yelling and arguing. He's like, I want a replay. I want a replay. They show the replay. It's a 2. She's like, the play stands. It's a 2. My God. What the fuck? Now, Jericho gets knocked on his ass, and Hangman just shows up out of nowhere with the chalk line thing, the thing that you do the chalk line with. Grabs the chalk, he takes it, and he just rolls it over Jericho, just doing a line over Jericho, splatting it on his face, and that is it for Chris Jericho. He's done for the night. So, Sammy Guevara, who just got done all these Northern Light suplexes, is crawling like he's dying. He's trying to get to Jericho. He stops. Is he done? No! A fucking, what do you call it? The thing that waters the sprinkler thing, the sprinkler system pops on, and he's laying on top of one. So Sammy Guevara is like, I'm the last man standing. I won! Oh yeah, I won! He's celebrating, he thinks he's won the match, and then, oh no. Shades of 2-3 weeks ago, whenever they had that Falls Count Anywhere match, Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega are back in a golf cart. He turns around, he sees it, and he is off. He is running with trying to, like Omega is out of the thing, yelling, go, 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 or something again. He's able to get up on top of the, over the stands, into the stands, and he's trying to get away from these two. And they get up a couple feet, and he knees Omega, he kicks Matt Hardy, and then all of a sudden, you hear, we see a new HUD thing. And instead of Vanguard, it's Neo 1. Neo 1 is here and makes his debut. Kenny Omega is able to rock Sammy Guevara. He looks back at Neo 1, shakes his head, picks him up. One wing angel off of this balcony into a crash box. Aubrey Edwards has to grab a fucking ladder to climb up to where they're at. 1, 2, 3. It's over. The Elite have won the Stadium Stampede. Holy shit, what a match. I do it absolutely no justice in, oh yeah, I forgot to mention in the bar brawl, Jake Hager took at least 5 bottles of the bubbly to his face. That shit had to fucking hurt. But this was awesome. I don't know what else I can say about this. This was great. After the match, the Bucks, Omega, Hangman, and Matt Hardy all celebrate. Hangman seems to have quelled his issues with the Young Bucks right now. They actually all cordial. And we go off with the Bucks, Hangman, and the Omega, and Matt Hardy celebrating as fireworks shoot off from behind. And that was how Double or Nothing went off the air. Heck of a fucking show. Every single man, woman, and whatever else you want to call yourself, who were on this show, who helped put this show together, who did, ran cameras, ran effects, ran every single thing about this show to make this show work. You should be proud of yourself because you put on one hell of a show. And I thank everybody out there. Here's the thing. If you didn't like the Stadium Stampede, I did, but if you didn't like the Stadium Stampede and you said, you know what, I'm out after the Jon Moxley match, then fine. If you cut that match out and you watched everything else, you had a hell of an 3-hour pay-per-view. The only grief I have for this pay-per-view is that it went way too long. Cutouts, a couple matches. I love Chris Statlander and what she does, but I think her and Penelope Ford could have been cut from the show. Dustin and Shawn Spears did not need to happen. This show just went a little too long. Was it great? Was I bored? No. Yes and no. It was great. Yes. No, I wasn't bored. It just felt like it went long. And yes, WWE has had this directive now that they're going to have short pay-per-views, which is fine. But I don't really want, like, we started this show at 8 o'clock. If you count the buy-in, 7:30. And we did not end till about midnight almost, if not at midnight. Just a little long. Other than that, this show, up from top to bottom, was fantastic. Everyone did great. Congratulations. And that was that. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. Find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Unscripted. We will pay tribute to Shad Gaspard and much, much more. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.